Welcome to the video. In this video, we will explore the nature of both introverted and extroverted intuition in the MBTI system. Remember to like and subscribe so I can grow the channel to reach more people like you. Let's delve into cognitive functions for MBTI a bit further, because not only can they be incredibly useful to understand, but I'm incredibly curious about delving into them. Let's quickly explain some notation so that we can use the functions as shorthand. NE equals extroverted intuition, NI equals introverted intuition, SE equals extroverted sensing, SI equals introverted sensing, FE equals extroverted feeling, FI equals introverted feeling. T equals extroverted thinking, and TI equals introverted thinking. Intuition in general is quite a mysterious function of the mind. In contrast to sensing, intuition is highly abstract, focusing on what could be rather than what is, and so is future-oriented rather than living in the present moment, so to speak. Intuitives play with ideas and concepts and explore the connections between these ideas to form a better understanding of how things work abstractly. Intuitives are some of the most intelligent and creative people because their mind is prone to thinking about things in a more nuanced and profound way than the average sensor. However, intuition has its drawbacks like any of the functions, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Intuition is inevitably on an axis with sensing with every individual, but different individuals have different pairs and in different slots. For example, the INFJ has NI in slot 1, which is always paired with SE in slot 4. The INFP has NE in slot 2, which is always paired with SI in slot 3. Note that if one has introverted intuition, then one must have extroverted sensing, and vice versa. The same is true for extroverted intuition and introverted sensing. So we now know your intuition function inevitably comes with a sensing sidekick. And as a pair, these are always in either slots 1 and 4, or slots 2 and 3. The same concept works in the exact same manner for thinking and feeling, but we'll go into that in future. We have two intuitive functions, introverted intuition and extroverted intuition. So let's explore each of them in turn to see how they differ. Remember, they are both intuitive functions, so they share their creative and abstract nature. So let's start with extroverted intuition. NE is the function that deals with free association between stimuli and the external world. It highly values novelty and sees various creative links from one source in the external world. You can think of this like a scattershot of possibilities emanating from one initial thought or concept. It is extroverted, so it is a collective function, and because intuition can be thought of as wanting something in the future, this process is excellent at understanding what others want. Here is a list of the types that use NE as their hero: the ENFP and the ENTP. These types make wild and outlandish connections between seemingly unrelated things, but are often totally correct. Some of the most creative and visionary thinkers have been either ENFPs or ENTPs, and this is because their NE is their strongest function. Here is a list of the types that use NE as their parent function: INTP and INFP. As a parent function, these types are going to use their creativity and metaphysical thinking in a more responsible way and less gung-ho manner compared to those NE hero types. Nevertheless, they are still proficient and use this function competently and frequently. Compared to NE is often more associated with imagination and creation, whereas NI is associated often more with dreams, images, and vision. NE is known to explore lots of different pathways that lead to different places, taking a more shallow and wide shotgun approach, whereas NI takes a more precise path to the optimal point but goes far more in depth, which can be thought of as a sniper rifle approach. NI connects various starting points to one endpoint, whereas NE connects one start point to various endpoints. These points usually represent external concepts for the NE user from past data collected from SI, and conversely, internal concepts for the NI user from data collected from SE. You can also think of this as an NE user drawing on a deep but narrow sensory experience to make wide but shallow abstract connections, and the NI user drawing on a wide but shallow sensory experience to make deep but narrow abstract connections. And thus NI can be conceptualized as the inverse of NE and vice versa. It is for this reason NI users are excellent at understanding vast complex systems and finding the essence of the system in a deep and profound way, which makes them insightful and wise. In contrast, NE makes connections to other systems that might not even exist, which makes them far more creative and imaginative. So let's go into depth for introverted intuition. NE was a collective function because it was extroverted. Therefore, NI is an individual function because it is introverted. For this reason, it is more focused on what I want rather than what the collective wants with NE. Those with strong NI have a long-term vision for themselves and will generally have a picture of where they would like to be in the future. Because NI sees how multiple lines of thought converge on a specific idea or concept, they are able to see this idea from many different angles and really understand one thing from multiple perspectives to give an incredibly rich understanding of one thing. This is why NI has the common nickname of perspectives. NI is almost entirely unconscious, so the individual is rarely aware they are using it at the time. Here is a list of the types that use introverted intuition as their hero function: the INTJ and the INFJ. These are the types that are frequently daydreaming and delve into ideas on a frequent basis. It is a beautiful thing to watch the profundity and elegance of the insight of these two types at times because they are so proficient with NI. These types live and breathe the long-term vision they have for themselves and spend most of their time trying to develop it or execute it. Here is a list of the types that use NI as their parent function: ENTJ and ENFJ. These types are likely to be responsible with the long-term vision they have for themselves, and have an NI that is more tamed than those with NI as their hero. That concludes the video. Thanks for watching.